as they try to tackle the 2009 configuration of this track. It's going to be bumpy, it's going to be hectic, but they are ready to see who's going to top the board. As a huge shout out to our major sponsors helping out here this season. Your major one for qualifying, it's Colley's mom. Colley's mom always hopes to see the one machine top of the board. Not going to happen here tonight. Instead, it's our points leader, Brian P. Johnson, going to be at the top of the board with Johnny Brugg in second. John Ford
finally did half decent on qualifying.
Fourth, Ryan McCann not able to get that last lap in, but still good enough for fifth place. Preston Hicks and Bob.
I didn't get the last lap in. I only got one lap in, but that was the quickest lap, so it don't matter.
2 for 2. We're going to find out here tonight. Last season's champion of Benjamin Nelson in 7th, Ken Campbell in 8th. Going to see Nick Crawford in 9th and finishing out our top 10. Drivers been the fastest at warm-up and practice. We'll see if we can carry that over into the race 10. It's going to be the 18 of James Heater.
Going in 11th, we talked to him last week, Brian Kelly. Larry Yingling right alongside him. We know they both have speed. 13th, Brandon Colley. We always got to give the big shout out to Brandon's mom. A nice 13th. Hopefully it's the lucky number 13 tonight for him. 14th, Kyle Heath. 15th, Cedric Hunter. 16th, Anthony Gaudio. 17th, Douglas Newbigging. 18th, Isaiah Sutherland. 19th and 20th, going to be Danny Cochran and Shane Therian.
Then going to be seen in 21st place. It's Christopher Norris in 38th. Zach Hall all the way down in 22nd position. Chris Stitz in 23rd. Tyler Dangler in 24th. Coda Moniz in 25th. 26th is 52 of Cody Reed. Ben Keeney in 27th. Edward Shore Jr. back out on track for the 71 in 28th spot. Brad Delp in 29. Cameron
Hey, man, got 28.
Last couple of positions. This 31st position is Brian Noel, Joshua Corner, James Kaufman.
I had to reset
drivers
on my first qualifying lap. I got a bad exit on 4.
For 100 laps again. No stage caution or competition caution will be thrown this evening as competition yellows have been removed for the rest of the season. No fast repairs. Drivers are given 5 extra sets of tires and pit road to work with. The fuel window, 31 to 33 laps. So we could be seeing drivers trying to make the fuel stint. 2-stop here tonight. They have to be forced into a 3-stop. Let's find out here very shortly as the drivers are stacked 2 by 2 into turns 3 and 4.
Right,
it's time for us to get to Green Flag Racing. Thank you so much for joining with us here on Freaking Fast Broadcasting as the drivers for the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup Series racing at Legacy, Michigan is underway as they enter the restart zone. Brian B. Johnson, Johnny Brugg, great launches for themselves. Rest of the field going to be stacked up a little on top of one another. There we go, Justin. Let's say roar down into turn number 1.
Roar down into turn 1. Still a little 2 by 2 up front. These are
little loose.
We know we don't have that competition caution, so they're not going to want to race too hard. But right now, Johnny Brugg looks like he's going to get out of the lead to maybe down here on the back straightaway. It's Brian Johnson still going to try and side draft going into turn 3.
Brian Johnson looking good at the start of the race, but that outside lane already showing the power that you have to get back into the throttle sooner and the confidence to just get up to speed and carry this momentum out of the straightaways. As Brugg, a little bit of a slip up, is going to give up the momentum in lap number 1. Looking close, but it goes to Brian B. Johnson at the line, 2,000 from second. And lap lead goes to our points leader currently. Rest of the field, they're still trying to scatter where they want to go. It's a lot of 2 by 2 up front. They're scattering to 3 by 3 and almost 4 by 4 on that first lap as the rest of the field finally gets cycled in line. Still up front, it's side by side for the lead.
Still up front, Brian Johnson doesn't want to give it up to Johnny Brugg. Johnny Brugg
outside line is hot.
Close that gap on our points leader, Brian Johnson. But getting that point lead, that's so important. Just being able to start on the pole, get that 1 bonus point. And you never know at the end of the season where it's going to help you. And you just look back and you're like, that's what I needed, that 1 point. But right now, we're just seeing these guys starting to settle in a little bit. We see last week's winner right there, getting ready to start cruising, trying to get a little gap between each other. But Brian McCann trying to make a move under the 74 coming out of turn 2 here. And that's what we talked about. We see those seams in a track. As these tires wear out, we're going to see drivers get a little loose, get a little tight going over those corners. And they're just going to have to adjust up this race.
Still seeing side by side Crawford. And it does seem, yeah, like you said, big things to watch out for. Very easy to see through the corners and as well on the straightaways. Kind of your designated lane to stay into. So you see cross over off the exit or into the corner. Kind of careful on those corner. As again, this is a long race, but quickly you can find yourself thinking about pit road. From the standpoint, Justin, with the fact that pit road and the fuel window is so close. Well, never mind. Throw it out the window. First caution is out, and it's Ben Keeney going to be involved, and Brad Delph. You know, first.
Do I want to keep track position or get tired? I feel like a lot of people are going to get tired here.
Turn 1 cleanly, and our first caution of the day comes out on lap 4. And this could.
I got 6 people in front of me to let me know which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think we might see drivers go in and definitely get fuel. Not sure if we'll see tire changes, but people are going to attempt. We do have.
I think we're good on fuel.
So we're going to get to the replay right here. Looks like going into turn 1, and it looks like
if most of them in front of me go in
the corner right there. Yeah, it looks like the guy checks up just a little.
I'll probably go in as well. I don't want to be.
Where to go?
The tire difference is massive.
Brad got back to the gas maybe about a couple feet sooner than he was anticipating the car in front of him getting back.
Yeah, just small.
And we got 5 tires over the wall.
Kinks that we saw a lot in the beginning of the season. There's 2 drivers, 2 different ways they wanted to take the corner and running over one corner. That's that. But both go around. Not a lot of damage collected. Just the.
They stay out though.
Most damage is to the tires, but expecting drivers that were caught up in that spin come to pit road, top off on fuel, maybe take a fresh set of rubber, and you're on your way. Not too bad hurt. Both those drivers were battling for positions in that of 30th and 31st place. So not
track position
to be lost on track, but it will allow drivers up front. Do they make the decision to come out of pit road and top off on fuel, take tires? I mean, they have 5 sets in pit road to work with.
Road is closed.
You might as
I guess that wasn't enough laps.
It looks like some guys are starting to peel off. I saw the 74, Nick Crawford peeling off, and a couple other guys looked like the 18, who you mentioned has really good speed in practice. He also peeled off. Just be interesting to see if these guys do use a set of tires here this early. If this race does stay green, using that set now will definitely give you a good advantage. Regardless, though, filling up the fuel, it can definitely save you later. And if it's able to eliminate a pit stop, that could be a significant gain in the long run.
Also, drivers might be thinking, hey, we got this caution that came out so early. If we clutch our fuel, we try to save as much as we can while we're under pacing. This might as well, allow us still to stay in that window of a 2-stop. They just needed to save about 2 laps of fuel in the combination of these next 2 stops. And this really helps out on that window that these drivers are looking for. Others deciding just to go with fuel only while coming into pit road. One driver, though, taking the risk, taking the gamble. Nick Crawford, the only driver that decided to come into pit road just that was not involved in that last wreck, to take tires. So we'll see how the 74 is going to cruise through this field with just 3 laps of green flag racing.
Yeah, 74's got to come through 25 people though.
Good window, and I think for the rest of the field.
Possible.
How much is tire wear going to be a big factor here tonight?
It is.
Yeah, I think the tires will.
3 or 4 laps is possible.
Is important. The problem is not so many cars pitting that he gave up the track position.
Big risk.
Laps of tires, but by the time you pass 15 cars, are you burning them up? That's going to be the big question that we're going to find out when we get back to green here. But we know Nick Crawford could do it. He was the winner at Texas. We know he can do it today, too.
Man, we're going green next time by.
Who can get it done?
On the outside,
as the drivers wait for the one to go marker, that's when the pace car lights turn off. That's an indication to the drivers into us. Hey, we are going this time by, and also let drivers know it's time to stack up, get ready to go 2 by 2. So those lights are off. Thank you again for joining with us here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. A huge shout out to our major sponsors that help out with the WSSR. Talking about Colley's mom being a qualifying sponsor for the field here at WSSR. She's been doing it for the last couple of seasons. It's a huge pleasure to have someone come out and help out this group of drivers at the WSSR, and as well, the title sponsor, Roasted Gems Coffee. Thank you so much to Roasted Gems for joining with us here at WSSR. They've got such a wide range. If you're looking for coffee blends to try out, might as well head on over to roastedgems.com and remember to use the promo code WSSR for 5% off on checkoff. And Trophy Smack. Remember to go head on over to trophysmack.com if you're looking to be the envy of your competition. Well, check out their wide range of different trophies that you can grab for yourself, from championship belts, rings, trophies, and more. Go to trophysmack.com and remember to use promo code WSSR Smack. That's WSSR Smack at checkout. Thank you so much, everyone who has helped out with the WSSR Cup Series throughout all the seasons and years. As the field gets prepared to go back to green flag racing, it's going to be Brian P. Johnson, Johnny Brugg, John Forbes, Ollie Fonseca give you your top 4, and going to see Bryson Hickson.
Oh, I was sleeping.
5.
I was the leader on the outside? I was looking at the inside guy. Damn.
Road, it's time for some green flag racing.
I missed that.
Michigan and
Oops.
P. Johnson not waiting just at all. Already gone by over 3 car lengths, heading down into turn number 1.
And getting that jump wants to go on these leaders. Wow, 2-3 car length lead going into turn 1. Not even going to give him a chance to get under them. He wants to lead this lap, take control of this race. We got lap 8 this early, but he doesn't want to deal with anyone being around him. It seems Sam as he hammers down back straight away. Now it puts Johnny Brooks side by side with John Forbes, who's actually going to maybe get second here going into turn 3.
Let me know if it gets better.
And who else could be aggressive?
I don't really like it when you swing up high like that, does it?
Johnny Brooks just went from back in side by side for the lead.
I'm trying to save tire a little bit.
Your life for second place, while other drivers poking their nose, figuring out where to go. The trap already showing its power on the straightaways. All of it's in that 24 machine.
33 laps, he's going to get horrendous.
Out where to place himself is go 3 wide, stay in the middle, and then you see the line green 63. That's Bryson Hickenbob. Better get used to that driver's name after last week's performance. This 63 could be a major threat once the playoffs come around, if you can make the playoffs.
Bryson last week, he showed us patience. He just kept moving up through the field.
Yeah, I like that a whole lot better.
One thing we want to talk to the viewers about so that they know as this race goes on, we talked about the draft. When everyone's up top on these straightaways, you have 9-10 cars single file. You got one guy down on the bottom. It primarily happens on the back straightaway. You really see it. Everyone's punching a hole in the air. If you're a car on the inside, you don't have any of that help. You could really start to lose 2 or 3 spots maybe on the straightaway, and then you've got to fight harder in the corner to try and get those positions back. But the problem is you're always stuck on the bottom if those cars are start trading up on top. And that's something we're going to keep an eye on. We want to just make sure the viewers are aware of how that draft works. So we're going to be talking about that throughout the night.
The top side off of 4 gets loose.
Where's? I think those are the big 2.
Top side off of 2 is amazing.
First couple of laps, we got lap 4. Right on our first caution of the day. How many drivers were being very patient and lenient on those tires? And now, because they know they've got that, simply on this run. I was thinking about whipping it up, going a little bit faster, and I think there's one driver that's on the mind. That is moving up to 7. Seven machine of Douglas Newbigin is on a tear. One of the biggest movers so far here tonight, up 9 spots. Was 10th when he was ahead of the 3 Ryan Kelly, but last week had to start at the end of the line, moved up, finishing the top 10. Douglas Newbigin got a good qualifying run at 17th, and he says, I'm going to use this position and try to go for a win or a top 5 finish here tonight.
Yeah, great observation on Douglas Newbigin. He's a driver last week, like you mentioned, had to start in the back, caution-free, drove it up to finish in the top 10. That's something we're so excited tonight to watch because now he's up there already. He had a decent qualifying effort, didn't have to deal with the penalty, and he put on a show last week for us doing all that. And I think we talked to him last week, we hyped him up, and he knows he's on a mission tonight. He's excited as we see right here these great views on what he's going to do. 192, 193, 94, 96, 99, almost 200 miles an hour we got going down into turn
3 wide.
10 laps, 12 laps into this race, Sam. So these tires are still giving tremendous grip to these drivers. As you see, he might be 3 wide right now here on the bottom. So he's not going to have too much drafting help until these cars start to come down. Right here, he's going to pick up some of that draft, get a little bit of that toe. But he's got not the preferred angle getting into turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 wide off the exit of the corner, and Douglas Newbigin.
He almost pulled off that wall and hit number 3 in front of me.
It is working currently, but how much is this going to be hurting the 7 and the it's on in the race?
It should be good. I haven't seen it go for a little bit.
And he's rewarded now, getting rewarded there as the 7 continues.
Number 7's got it figured out, though.
The top 5 and our biggest mover so far is this 7 machine.
They love it. Like maybe 2 laps to go, everyone disappeared for a moment.
At least on this short run.
3 behind. 3 drivers. Stay
Now he spun. Oh, I thought he spun. Damn, he saved it. He looked like he was straight sideways.
Oh boy, gets too loose.
Thanks for the like. I didn't catch the name.
7 holds on. What a save by Newbigin.
Look, that save, but we're seeing right here how much momentum. We talked about it early in the broadcast. Having to lift, that lift just cost him 8, 9, 10, 11 positions. He's just going to continue.
And he dropped back 11 positions off that.
But he's stuck here in the middle. Anthony Gaudio underneath him. Yeah, the momentum should start to come back now. He's going to be able to pull up here in the draft, be on the outside. But heating those tires up like that, Sam, that just knocks off so many laps of wear on them. And you just don't know what that's going to hurt long run, especially if you stay green here. it's just something that is going to be really hard to come back just from that little hiccup there, especially putting him back where he's losing 8-9 spots like we just mentioned.
And just in a blink of an eye, Douglas Newbegin went from the biggest mover of the race right back to where he started during the race. Qualified at 17th, falls back to 15. Man, that is just a tough spot for the 7 to be running as he continues to stay low, risking to get on the apron. And I think that might have been the big thing. Just glance the apron, and now going to be trying to continue on his way forward as they were just for a quick moment snapped 4 wide. Single them out one another. Nick Crawford, though, 74 on a different mission. Decided to take tires under our last caution back on lap 5. And now the 74 up to 17. He's moved up 7 spots. Being patient with that extra rubber that 74 is working with.
Being patient with that extra rubber. Going to try and get around the 7 who just scraped off a little bit of that rubber, getting below the seam the lap before. But Nick Crawford, we're going to keep an eye on him. Like you mentioned, up 7 positions. Right now, just taking his time, getting through these cars. If he can get around these 4 cars in front of him, if he's able to get around them, as we see the camera pan out, and there's 6 inside. Little Lister, we talked about it. Just hitting those seams, trying to gas up on that, even with the extra laps on the tires there with the extra fresh rubber, still got loose on him.
I didn't get a good angle on that. I could have passed him.
You haven't been protecting your tires from Nick Crawford. You are in.
I was too close to him on the apex.
Battling up front, starting to heat up. That of Johnny Brugg, and now having the nose ahead for a quick moment over Brian P. Johnson. These two have been duking it back and forth between one another. John Ford.
I need to be careful not to heat my tires up, though.
Who else could it be? But it's Benjamin Nelson, the 79.
Really, I just need to stay with this pack.
And trying to go.
It's going to come down to pits.
Season is Benjamin Nelson in a trap that what's the strengths of the 79 machine? It's patience, it's quickness, and it's staying smooth. 79 continues to try to figure out how to place himself to go forward.
Not wiggling like they do is so important.
Season that missed out on a race, was sick earlier on in the season. He's now having a handful as these drivers up front are on 18-lap old tires compared to Nick Crawford, who pitted that of 6 laps ago.
You mentioned the drivers just getting, you can see their hands inside the wheels, even from this view. You can see them just tugging on it, coming out of the corner, trying to keep it going. You can see Johnny Brugg, Benjamin Nelson. This track's just putting out a really great show. This is what we love watching. These drivers are battling right now. Johnny, he had a chance to take the lead, and now he's stuck here in the middle. He might lose a couple spots. But Brian Kelly, he's a driver just really slowly moving up to the field, not making too much noise other than just moving forward. He's not overdriving the car. We're not talking about him getting loose or anything. He's just waiting, trying to get around these 2 guys and then trying to make a move on Brian Johnson. I think he's going to be doing it here in a couple laps when he gets around them.
Brian Kelly, I would say he's an under-the-radar driver for most of the race and then starts to attack in the middle to end of the race cycle. But right now, these drivers are so close to one another. One mistake could be taking 1, if not 2 drivers around. Slight wiggles gets more. These drivers are really risking it all and putting their own fates in each other's hands. It's Brian P. Johnson. He's loving the fact that the battling's going on for second because he can just ride comfortably, save his tires a little bit more. As these 4 drivers, this is second back to 5th, will not give up with one another.
They will not. They're staying 2 by 2. They're putting on a great show right here for the viewers. As Benjamin Nelson decides he wants to get up in that outside line, maybe not be down on the bottom anymore. It's going to allow Brian McCann to get underneath him. But
I ain't going to be able to do anything on this turn number 2 here, though.
79, we're getting really close out of that corner.
There's 2 cars up here that are holding us up, really.
And look who's coming behind the newcomer, just taking his time, watching these guys battle. He's starting to suck up into that draft. And he's getting closer and closer, running 7th right now. We're going to be keeping an eye on him throughout tonight. Cedric Hunter right behind him.
See, there ain't nothing we can do on that bottom side.
Drivers that pulled away in that most recent restart, starting to fall back. Clutches of drivers that are being a little bit more patient, willing to give up the time, as we are now about 13 to 15 laps away from seeing green flag pit stops if we stay green. This closing battle up front, they just will not relent on the aggressive pushes, going back and forth. And it's the exit of 4 that we really have been seeing some of the major slides and big swiggles as Benjamin Nelson keeps it off the wall. But how much is that going to be hurting him? And Brian McCann cuts high, goes low. And here comes last week's winner. It's going to be Bryson Hickson off to the inside.
And we're now seeing 22 laps into this run. What drivers are dealing with, trying to get out of these corners. They just want to get back to the gas, to use all this horsepower to get down these straightaways. But the problem is these tires just don't want to do it on this old bumpy surface. The car unloads itself and it just gets a little free. And before you know it, you're pointed towards the infield, and that's not a good feeling. We saw some of these drivers have to lift even more than what Benjamin Nelson had to. And we saw before when Nick Crawford lost a couple positions, Douglas Newbiggie, as I mentioned that, I see him on the inside there starting to make up that ground.
Yeah, I mean, Douglas Newbiggie, that was the next driver going to bring up. He is now just inside of the top 10. He has recovered well, getting 5 positions back after his big slide in. Now going to be up to 9th place, but also another driver that's been on the move, quietly moving forward. I think before Ryan Kelly joined with WSSR, I'd say the quiet driver was Cedric Hunter in that pink-colored machine. Tonight, he's on the slow move, up 9 positions from where he qualified. 13, started back in 15th position, now up to 6th, and is on the move, kind of staying in the tire tracks of Bryson Ixenbaz. These two drivers have been slowly marching forward together.
I'm excited about Cedric Hunter tonight. I know last week, I think he was a driver that had the same amount of speed as leaders in the eventual winner. I think he just, in the beginning of the race, was expecting some of those cautions maybe, got a little bit behind, but all race he stayed right there with everyone. He just was a little bit behind from that first stop. But tonight, he's staying right there with them, and he's going to be somewhere we're going to have to keep an eye out. And we have to mention back there in 26, Zachary Hall. He's won a race. He's running 26. Last week, he was running up front the entire race. We at one point thought maybe he was going to even win this race. I think he's going to get back up there tonight still, Sam. I think he's taking his time right now. Maybe didn't have the qualifying effort, but I know he's going to get up there.
Yeah, there's a few shocking drivers that are outside of the top 20 that I thought maybe would be better off up front back here tonight. You can see it on the screen. You got Christopher Lawrence, James Hunter, who was fastest 3 warm-ups and during practice.
Was that the guy about wrecked back up here again? Damn, that bottom line is hot. I don't know how you do that.
Throughout this season before he missed out.
He does.
Last week's race, Shane Terrian, who won at New Hampshire and has been a top contender in the points, in 23rd. Cameron Sargent, who's been up and down.
And that 63 is looking dangerous.
Is actually our second biggest mover. Started in 30th, up to 20th, so up 10 spots. But this is so weird to see some of these drivers that are back here. And as well, well, as I talk about Edward Sherwood Jr., there's the 71.
What is it? Hey, Derek.
Get together, 26 laps in the book. 71, able to take a deep breath and try to recycle forward after losing spots. But was going to talk about Tyler Dangler.
The green car wiggled and I freaked out.
Tonight's race, heard over practice throughout this week, felt like he had a strong enough car to go for maybe one of his best finishes of the season. Unfortunately, not able to do so, as the 19 has called it.
I don't think we're
so far here.
That pack right there is all bunched together. I think I just stay with this pack.
Up front, doing the same.
There's a little gap behind me.
Where he was before the big slide, 6th place position. It's the 7.
Cool the tires down a little bit. See if we can just stay here.
On our front runners.
And Douglas Newbiggie proving us wrong that side it's not worrying him like it worried us at the time when it happened. He's driving back up through.
Got to figure out how to do that bottom line though. Damn.
On that line, he's not worried. He just figured out what he needs to do different. Is he's going to pull alongside Johnny Brugg, who was up there not too long ago battling for a chance to lead this race. And now Douglas Newbiggie looking to crack the top 5 as Cedric Hunter, that was the driver who got around them, moving up to 4th place, has it under a 2nd. We're seeing drivers coming and going. We just saw Benjamin Nelson up there, who we thought was maybe going to take the lead, and we saw a couple slides out of him as we see Brian McCann slide right underneath him as Benjamin Nelson started sliding up higher. Just drivers are starting to really change right now what's happening. We're just seeing drivers have to change their setups and their driving styles. This track is just really starting to wear these tires out. We're coming up on lap 30. Pit stops are going to be happening soon. Drivers really want those fresh rubbers.
Yeah, expecting because we had the caution that some drivers came into pit road that topped off on fuel. Others, majority of the field, did not come to pit road. I think it's going to be around lap 34 to 35. Might be our window. We're going to be seeing drivers come in pit road, get their stops done. If we see anyone coming to pit road before lap 34, that is going to be a heavy question mark on how the rest of the race is going to go for that driver. If we stay green, that is a good sign. And get one of those stops driving the rest of this race, you're going to have to make an audible, be a lot more aggressive on the pit stops.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to see Nick Crawford go as far as he can because he did choose to go in early. He has the tires, he has the fuel. We know what he did at Texas, so I think he's going to be using that strategy.
I think I'm top 5.
be shown in Nutter Butter, number 1, Brandon Colley, going down this back straightaway, still hitting really high.
I was last time I checked, which is like 2 races ago, and I haven't really done bad since then. So somewhere around 5.
A nice smooth race, just looking to stay out of trouble. We know sometimes some of those accidents, unfortunately, caught up in front of.
It's a playoff format, so as long as I stay above that cutoff format, cutoff line.
Forward in Zach Hall, trying to get by the 77 of Brian Noel. Brian Noel.
Thanks for the like. I missed the name again.
Here tonight, back in 31st position, starting to be passed by some drivers.
Oh shit! He hit the brake early.
Not the best qualifying runs for the 77 machine. I believe he decided not to even qualify here tonight. No, just had a bad qualifying run. Was the 77 and here tonight? I think for some drivers starting in the back, Michigan is not for some their favorite.
He threw the anchor out on that one.
At times, and on the legacy course, you never know what you're going to see as there's almost contact between the 9 and the 77. Noel stays high, Terrian holds straight, and Christopher Norris holds his breath for a quick moment as he comes to the nose underneath that Brian Noel.
Yeah, you saw those two get a little sideways, and right in front of him, Zachary Hall also coming out of that corner, just had a little wiggle, showing how hard these cars are drive. There's really no place on this track that you could just kind of relax, maybe on the back straightaway, but that front straightaway is bumpy and it's got a little bit of turn on it. And one thing I want to mention next time when we get here past the start-finish line, Sam, with this being a 2009, that safer barrier, the wall, drivers are trying to get as high as they can going into turn 1, and all of a sudden that safer barrier comes and you can see how close they're getting, and they lose that extra 1.5 feet. We're going to see it right here, and see how the safer barrier disappears, and then coming down here in turn 1 you're going to see it reappear, and some of these drivers are getting so close up there that eventually someone's going to make
now I'm wiggling.
We're seeing how close they're getting, and that safer wall comes right out, and it jumps right out that if someone hits it they're going to get damaged.
Yeah, and some drivers got to be careful. They almost come into one another, and it was tough for Christopher Norris and Brian Noel. There was some slight contact.
They 4 wide up there, ain't they?
They went into turn number 1. Different strategy calls. Talked about some drivers, they needed to hit at least lap 34 if they wanted to feel comfortable turning this race into a 2-stop from here on out. Well, only Sega and Gadio not able to hit that number.
I might as well just hang out where I'm at. There ain't no reason to try to fight this 2 bunch.
At least one extra stop over the rest of the field that they're going to have to work with. As Nick Crawford going to be trying to get off by the 14 of Isaiah Sutherland. That's for 10th place. As the 74 slowly shifting away, as well as the pass for the lead. Ryan Kelly takes that lead spot, but for how long? Because we're now starting to see Douglas Newbiggie, Cedric Hunter, and a pack of new wolves now up front trying to take that lead spot.
You mentioned Nick Crawford in 10th.
It's really going to come down to the pit.
Look how close this field is. This looks like it's the start of the race, Sam. These drivers are going everywhere. Right now, Douglas Newbiggie's trying to get 2 of them going into turn 1. He's going to take it down to the bottom. He's been comfortable all day down there on that white line, getting a grip. Look at this. He's just able to drive it down there. Not sure if he's going to be able to hold off Cedric Hunter, though. Looks like Hunter's going to be able to prevail on the outside. And right now, the problem is these guys are all now going to be on the outside in that draft, and he might not have the help.
And as well, mixed in between is the 24 and the 29. Ollie Fonseca and that Lariat Productions 24 has already covered pit road. He is mixed and mingled with old tires. That closing rate going to be massive for the 29 and the 24s. They're trying to figure out how to place themselves to get by this group, but it's
2 was too much.
They really have that extra speed. The driver's got to be careful. Ryan McCann pulls it into pit road as Ollie, as well as the 29 of Gaudio, just not sure where the safest position is. Hopefully not influence this lead pack. Ollie Fonseca finds an opening, and the 24 is gone, just like that.
Wow, you're seeing the difference in tires. That just looked like he had an extra 400 horsepower, just was able to turn and go. He's probably going to be our leader, being first to take tires. We're going to have to see how long he's going to be able to hold these guys off once they do pit.
Watch out. Drivers need to come into pit road.
I think you can.
Big scare for Brian P. Johnson and the rest of the field as Anthony Gaudio almost running into drivers. They cleanly enter their in-pit entry. But there was almost a chance of seeing our leader getting ran over. And for some, this is the last point that they can come into pit road because they've been out there for so long. Some of these drivers could have ran out of fuel if they stayed out for an extra lap.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they got into their window, and it's still going to be close because we did have those 3 or 4 caution laps. So drivers only getting to 36. Not sure if they're going to be able to get to the magic window for that next stop. It's going to be really interesting if you're pushing versus trying to save, clutch into the corner, utilize
62-62.
out
Dead even.
Biggie and Bryson Dixonbaugh able to run an additional lap, which is really going to benefit them as they get ready to pit right now. So we're on board right now with Douglas Newbiggie. A little wiggle there, getting it slowed down, getting that speed. You do not want a speeding penalty here, Sam.
You do not. Also joining with them, going to be seeing the 74 of Nick Crawford, not staying out for any longer than he has to in the pit road. Wanting to at least stay with the lead drivers. I think that's a smart call on the 74. Shane Terrian Park leading the group of drivers that decided to come to pit road and top off on fuel under our first caution. It's the 9-1-38-77, as well as 18 June Cedar, Edward Shooter Jr., 71, James Kaufman, and Joshua Corner all still need to hit pit road. The rest of the field feeling confident on this decision making, staying out as long as they did. And the window they were looking for was at least to pit after lap 34, and you can turn this race into just one more stop after this. Now the rest of the field, the magic number that they have to get by is lap 68. 68 is that number. Can they hit it though?
It's going to be really close for some of these drivers that pitted early. I did see Brandon Colley decide to pull off that lap 37, feeling confident that he's going to be able to make it one more stop without having that additional stop. These drivers that are still out there now feeling super confident that they're going to be able to drive the rest of the whole race, not have to worry about saving. If this race stays green, we'll see our winners come from these drivers right here that are in the top 5.
Right on board, no contact over the wall, over the radio. That C71 hit back over the seatbelt pass hit entry. Still waiting. There were 5 drivers that need to enter pit road and before this pit cycle is officially done and dusted. But for those that already made their stops, leading that pack, it's Brian McCann and 8G, Brian Kelly at 9th, and then Brian P. Johnson, as they're going to be finding themselves around a total of 24 seconds off the leader. But they're all still pretty close to one another. I think the best battle of those that have already pitted could be this one on screen of Brian P. Johnson, Ryan Kelly. This is what would be for second place once this pit cycle completes itself here in the next couple of laps.
It is going to be everyone.
Hey, cars. How's it going?
Cycle will be completed, but are we starting to see this field now get spread out with the different pit strategies? And if the field gets more spread out, that's a really good chance that we could see it.
Thanks for the raid.
For these final 60 laps, and that could play right into our leader right now, Shane Therian, who is not pitted yet, besides under caution, under the first caution.
Yeah, Shane Terrian still is yet to pit the 9, making the choice this go around over the radio has made that decision, as well as a lot of the other drivers still need to come to pit road, that being our top 5.
Walrus down. Got it. Thank you.
Trying to get into pit entry. Then again, these drivers are almost hitting 200 miles per hour entering turn 3. Off the exit, they're going about 168 and slow down to 55 miles per hour into pit entry. And it plainly is.
I think I'm the leader of this pack.
Stop. One driver, though, sadly did get caught with a penalty. That was Ben Keeney. A pit stop. The 98 at Macon. Back out there on track is that Machinist.
Thank you.
Good about this.
It's the cheapest socks I could find. I had to
still stay out for
put the rest of the money in the rig.
71 and 22, but they needed a caution to help them out on this strategy. So it looks like 71 hitting this go around. If he stays out for another lap, that's a dangerous call.
He's going to get in right now, get down here below 55, like you mentioned. The speed limit, do not want to get caught speeding. That can make your race definitely be 1 lap down, maybe 1.5, with the way these cars are going so fast out here, especially on these brand new tires. But as Scherer Jr. deciding to give up the lead, going to turn it over to Josh Corner now. And then, nope, Brian McCann, as Josh Corner does get into the pits right this turn, this coming out of this turn 2.
Going to be Brian McCann, Brian B. Johnson, Brian Kelly, John Force, Ollie forsaking your top 5 currently.
We should make it, Derek, because I think we was going to make it without.
They're all still on top of one another there, but as the field has completed their first pit cycle, I think for us on the booth, we're going to take our first commercial break of the night.
100 lap, we should have been able to make it on 2 stops, so I think I pitted lap 34 or 35.
Series here at Legacy, Michigan, as drivers are marching their way forward. One more stop expected before this race can take us to green. We're excited to give you more coverage when we come back right after this.
Oh, I want it to slip though. I don't want it sticky. Why would you want it sticky or non-slip? Yeah, but why would you want that? Because when I push the pedals, they slide. Fashion statement.
Hey, this is Benjamin Nelson, your Season 7 WSSR Cup champion. I'd like to give a thanks to Roasted Gems Coffee, Trophy Smack, all the admins at WSSR.
Oh, this pack's gonna catch me for sure.
That tunes in to the Freaky Fast broadcast every week, including my family and friends, co-workers as well. And I am so honored to be able to hoist this beautiful trophy. I've never been more proud to be a champion.
You see, I had the same problem barefoot. My sticky feet stick to it.
Very sorry. I did not mean to do that, buddy.
I guess it comes down if you like sticky feet or not.
I just got a little tight in that middle of the corner there.
I'm going in too hot on that turn.
They're 5 wide behind the fifth. Oh my, the 5 wide here. This ain't gonna work. They make it last. Bumping and banging to the end. They're beating banging for the lead. Sora still with the shot here. Coming off a 4. That's it. It's bottom line. Here it comes. Oh, no, the Carter gets run. It's gonna be that Nick Crawford. The 74 gets through.
Damn, I still can't figure it out.
Just come.
I went in easier that time. But hell, it was slower.
Down low, drifting up, trying to be the dealer.
He's still holding behind me here.
He steals it, but he somehow drove it in the corner. Oh, they wrecked each other. The top two bounced into one another. Just too much of side drifting off of, and they got to be careful. Oh no, the 4 demolishes into 28. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The Freaky Fast broadcast team. You're watching the WSSR Roasted Gems Cup.
I believe I've ran my right rear too hard.
With me up in the booth is Justin Malarkey and Robert Moyer Jr. running productions in the background. We are 48 laps in of 100. We had one caution blip up around lap 4 after a little bit of miscommunication on the third one of the season drivers getting into one another. But since then, we've been clean and green. Currently, your leader is Brian McCann.
Yeah, I got one more shot at it.
Brian Johnson and Ryan Kelly has gifted the 8 machine that lead position, but there was a little bit of mix-up before drivers entered pit road. Also helped out the gap that was currently a half second difference.
I just can't get through that turn. There, you're killing me on that one.
That competition yellow kind of.
I might be running along wrong line, so once they get around me,
so split up right now.
See what they're doing.
Them stay green so far.
Yeah, we're seeing the field be a little bit more spread out than that first run. That first run, it was getting really exciting right before pit stops. We had the top 10 pretty much under 1.5 seconds, which was so neat to watch. But now 1.5 seconds is separating the top 4. So a little bit more spread out now, which is going to now start to let these drivers really start to think what they need to do for the second run. Will we see some drivers maybe try and clutch it 1 or 2 times here, start saving some fuel?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was, 8th when I came in, and we got 18 laps here.
This race has a green.
Hopefully I don't drop back to 8th.
Get a little bit spread out.
That's something like 3 seconds behind me.
Seeing these drivers have to make their moves on track, they might only have 1 pit stop left to gain any track position.
Yeah, this is kind of the same field that WSSR would field for the longest time. It's first, I would say 6 months.
I think I'm using too much steering wheel to get into the turn.
It wasn't the type of racing stuff we were used to. We used to do a lot of green flag racing, and last week really showed, hey, the league is still there. We still have the core group, just had to clean up the aggression, and now we're seeing the product that we have on screen. The drivers really put on great
that didn't help.
green flag racing, and Douglas Newbigging has been putting on probably one of the greater shows of a lot of drivers here tonight.
Ron Kelly's got it figured out.
Had a major slide and save that cost it over 10 positions, was able to recover and get back into the top 5 before pit stops began, and now in 4th place. This has been a fabulous start the first half of this Michigan race. And right behind him, we have the newcomer, last week's winner, second race WSSR, already has a win. He has a win.
Yeah, one inside.
Trying to go 2 for 2 to get it done here this evening. But some other drivers we haven't really talked about a lot tonight. 67th of Larry Yingling, just inside of our top 10. He has been having a very quiet night compared to what we've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, hopefully I can get this right rear cooled down and fall in behind him.
Staying out of trouble. We know he has speed. We know he's going to get up there. This is going to come down to him hitting the right strategy.
I came out of the pits in the lead and got a little too excited.
I know we're going through the field right here, but I just wanted to retouch on Douglas Newbigging up there in 4th. He seems to be one of those drivers, Sam, that regardless, he's always down on the bottom in the corners. He's running that bottom line and he's making it work.
I know. I had to pick 8 because of him.
When he came back from commercial, it was 1.3. It's under a second now. He's able to just run down to that bottom line, it seems, and he's making it work where other drivers are running a hot lane up. Now we're going to see in turn 3. Hopefully.
So he's not using as much throttle, so I guess the throttle was the problem. I thought it was entry.
Yeah, just drives it in there so much more aggressively. Everyone else,
all right,
a lot more of a wide.
I've learned a little bit.
Trying to run that second, third move. Well, Douglas Newbigging, one of the few drivers that's willing to drive it down that yellow line. And, that was kind of funny that we're seeing this, because it was something we kind of were talking about, Justin, before we went live, of you were testing the car out. You were saying, hey, if a driver can master and figure out getting down low to that yellow line, they can find that sneaky speed. But you were saying it's difficult to even trust the car to go down there.
It's definitely a shorter distance, but it's so difficult. I was struggling trying to get the car to the bottom, and then when I would get it to the bottom, you felt great, but all of a sudden coming out of the corner, because it's the bottom of the track, you're turning the car the most to get down there. You have your hand turned to the wheel, you get back to the gas, and it starts getting the car loose, and I was struggling getting out of the corner. But Douglas Newbigging's having no problem as he's running down these leaders now, Sam.
8 on the back bumper and showing the speed. It is the 7th machine, and of the drivers that are inside of our top 4, best tires, give it to the 7th machine. He was pitted on lap.
Hey, thank you for the subscription.
Brian Kelly, Brian B. Johnson, pitted 19 laps ago. The oldest tires in our top 4. He's Brian McCann in 3rd place, kind of struggling at this moment. Top 4 closing in and about to be in is now currently within a second. Bryson Ixenbaugh, same tire strategy combo of Douglas Newbigging closing in as well. Kind of doing a similar strategy to what he did last week to win at Las Vegas. Stay out of trouble, stay with the lead back, and slowly chip away each pit stop that came out.
And we have these great views right now. You're seeing
he's getting loose down there.
This is exactly what we're talking about, Sam and I up here.
We all getting loose.
Drivers are getting down into the corner and they're turning or seesawing on these wheels coming out of the corner. If you have to turn back to the right, that's as you see Douglas Newbigging get sideways. That's him having to turn back to the right to keep that car from spinning. When it starts turning to the left like that, you got to turn that wheel back to the right. But the problem is, Sam, if you overcorrect it, you know what happens. The front end goes right into the wall.
Yeah, the front tires turn too far to the right, and it just randomly catches grip. You can slingshot your way to the outside wall, and an innocent victim could be collected. But Douglas Newbigging's already had incredible
well, dang, Derek.
here tonight. The question then has to loom: how many more saves are in that 7 machine? Because one mistake.
Wow, they got close.
Multiple mistakes to get out.
28 was already on the wall.
As Douglas Newbigging continues his way forward as well. As see Bryson Ixenbaugh leading the race. Ryan Kelly, the 3, finally able to take the lead confidently over Brian B. Johnson. And try to
shit, that is loose.
7/10 over second place now.
7/10, he likes what he sees.
I thought maybe I can cut that down, but no.
real state on track. But the problem is they're not able to clear each other. But Douglas Newbiggie might be able to clear coming out of that corner. He does. You see the 8 get a little twitchy coming out of that corner as well. But Bryson Higginbotham, this race is starting to feel like last week. Is around halfway where we started mentioning his name. Who is this newcomer? What's he like? What's his strategy play? What's his
make him go to the bottom? I can't do it.
Last week, what it is, and looks like tonight he's bringing that same exact game to this race tonight.
It just feels like a lot of what we saw last week is starting to translate here to this week, except for...
Yeah, I've done got the right rear hot again. I cooled it down,
back 11th place.
but I need to just calm down, and
in there for the 79 of the region.
They're going to be faster than me, so I just need to fall in line. We got one more pit stop.
And at this time, really is finding himself in a tough situation.
If I can just hang with these guys, just maintain.
In the lap car of Joshua Corner, who's got the fresher.
That's what I need to do.
That are battling for position, but kind of odd to see. And Isaiah Sutherland back here, the 14, was always a threat to watch out for a top 10 run, and you make it pass here on Nelson on the entry of turn 1.
Yeah, gets around Nelson. Nelson now drops another position. That is very interesting, Sam. Something he might maybe be trying to save a little.
It's amazing how you slip the right rear a little bit and you're screwed for like 2 laps.
Something we have to keep an eye on. That it was a driver we saw not too long ago up there who thought was maybe going to take the lead away, but right now not able to.
As drivers behind this group going to be in 13th position. It's Danny Cochran and Zach Hall, Cody Reed, drivers that are making some moves forward. We talked about how it was shocking to see Zach Hall all the way back the later 20th position. Well, now currently running in 14th and chipping away. Cody Reed, another driver that's chipping away forward. The main reason why Zach Hall was back there so deep, same for Shane Terry, and 2 drivers that decided to top off on fuel under our first caution.
Got about
4. So I
got 8 laps in the tank.
Now hoping to gain some of it.
Doing lap 61 here.
Stays green with their pit strategy calls. It looks to be Benjamin Nelson still struggling in front of this group at 79. Just an race to see for himself as Danny Cochran closes in quickly on our last season champion.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to run it dry or pit like a lap or 2 early.
Michigan was a race that seemed like he was excited for. He thought he was going to be able to bring great speed, and
I'm a net gain for pitting early last time.
Right now out there doing something different.
But that's not the strategy for the win.
Speed that we were expecting.
I think Ryan Kelly's is so fast. That's going to be hard to compete with.
Up and he's just not able to.
That Douglas guy, he's got that bottom figured out.
Talk about how tonight's race, some drivers.
Really, I'm racing these 2 guys in front of me, I think.
I've seen this track just a little bit too difficult for their own taste.
That could all change on pit road, though.
Well, Ben Heaney, one driver that we've lost, and most recently Dakota Moniz, calling it tonight. More than 5 machine RA3 drivers out 30.
No, I'm not going before 66.
26 of those drivers are on the
I was thinking right at 66 or 67, but not 68.
This cluster of drivers from 12th back into 15th are on top of one another. And then
these 2 racing like this is just screwing us out of the potential win.
Close in as the 2 that just can't get away, Brian P. Johnson, Brian McCann, continue to be attacked.
I don't know who's faster.
Third, you have
green car, apparently.
Able to get by, and Douglas Newbiggie within 2/10 of Ryan Kelly for the lead.
At 2/10, and when we came back from commercial was about 1.3, so he's gained a second plus passing cars. He's clearly got really good speed, especially here on the long run. I mean, we're getting close to pit stops. Going to be happening probably here in the next 7 to 10 laps to get into that window, that magic number you mentioned, 68. Some of these drivers might take it a little bit early, try and gain some of that track position, and get spread out and try and keep that draft from letting you guys behind get closer to them.
All right.
But right now, Brian McCann.
We need to get closer to those front 2.
Spread Bryson Higginbotham.
Ain't going to be able to do it in 2 laps, though.
Make the pass, but very
3 laps.
On watching the different duels between the 28. They continue to go back and forth, battle for the lead, about to be underway. It's Douglas Newbiggie. Now less than 2.
We might catch him a little bit.
You know, seeing the battle for the lead. Still, I think it's hard to even make a decision at this point because there's still 37 laps to go here tonight. Who could be the favorite to win? But our top 5, I could say anyone in our top 5 really still has a chance if they can just time out this final pit stop, and whoever has the best tires could be the biggest threat to watch out for. But feel like if you are like Bradley Johnson and try to pit sooner than later, but the first grouping of drivers that have to hit pit road, Ollie Fonseca, as well as Anthony Gaudio, they were the first to make their green flag pit stops all the way back on lap.
He's in the wall.
They're going to be in a spot where they might have to pit here in the next lap or two.
And they're going to be having to go out there and Brian saves fuel in case they don't get to that magic window of 68, which we believe will be really safe if any driver does pit after 68. But as you mentioned, the top 5, feeling really confident about one of
We're dead even with the leaders.
7th place, Nick Crawford. I know he can go longer than these other drivers, which means he might be able to go in, get the tires a little bit later, and then have those tires at the end and make a hard charge. We know he's going to be good on fuel. We know he could definitely get past 72, 73. I'm expecting him to be one of our pit stops, one of our last drivers come into the pit stops. As we see right here, these drivers are still 2 by 2. Eddie Cochran able to get around Cody Reed, Zach Hall making up positions also to 12th now after being in 26th earlier in this race.
I felt like 67 might be the furthest you can go and feel comfortable, but on lap 66, Ollie Fonseca has hit pit road, not able to make it far enough as Danny Cochran.
I don't know. I might just...
13th position. Zach Hall is already...
Should I pit when they pit?
The 2 as well as 79.
I don't think they're going to pit on this one.
Quickly for the both of them, but again, pit stop.
I either pit here or the next one.
This is at the point where your tires are done and dusted if you haven't been protecting them. And Shane Terrian also trying to make a big move as, oh boy, what a...
It would be nice to be in the lead if a caution comes out late, though.
Benjamin Nelson holds it together,
I'm pitting.
but going to be giving up way too much time for his liking as they continue.
Leader's pitting, so...
Way forward, pit stop window has now opened up completely. We've lost Brad Delph, who's going to call it a night. Before the
Actually, I'm staying out.
It's still Ryan Kelly.
Probably a mistake.
That's going to be a good question. Who's going to...
These 3 guys stayed out. 4 guys.
2. And will Bryson Hicksabah follow in suit as the 7 goes high and dry and almost get in the wall as Kelly hits pit road.
Kelly's going to be the first of our leaders to bring it in, coming to 68, so putting it right on that window. But Douglas Newbiggie driving around him right before
that 1 lap advantage on tires.
Regardless of the pit strategy on Brian Kelly. So this is going to be a great finish here. These 2 drivers up front right now, when are they going to pit? We saw Brian McCann pit a bit earlier and get the lead. He hasn't pitted yet. Brian Kelly decides he doesn't want anyone undercutting him.
Yeah.
And he's going to get his 4 tires, and he's going to come out most likely with the lead when this cycle's through.
And with the time of that pit stop, I mean, Douglas Newbiggie.
It did, but...
higher than his liking. He's been running that inside group. But pit stops, you're seeing the different attempts.
I wanted to be on the same tires as these guys.
With the 63, recognizing, hey, we got to close in this gap, help ourselves out under pit road. You can gain a lot of time, and you could throw away your race if you're not careful.
That didn't help either.
As a majority of the field comes into pit road.
2 mistakes.
Call Cody Reed. Give them the lead now as Ollie Fonseca, fresh rubber, showing that difference in speed once again. As Cody Reed, Shane Terrian, Zach Hall continue to stay out. They're banking on a yellow. Doesn't look like it's going to hit, but it's a nice lap if they'd like to pit. And sounds like Cody Reed.
I got a pretty good pit entry.
It's calling for the 52.
But then slid through my damn pit.
Question is going to be, when will our leader come in, Zach Hall? We've seen him start slowly, steadily making his way up through the field. Not going to pit this time, it looks. Oh, no, he's going to come in.
Lost me about a second.
They're going to have to get down below 60 miles an hour, 55, get it back down. No speeding penalty. Great entrance.
That sucks.
They're going to hit pit road right now, get their fresh rubber. Don't want to give up any more time out there to the other leaders. As we see Cody Reed get in, lock up the front tire a little bit.
That is a very odd entry, but that angle is going to work for the 52. Hard on the brakes. That's going to be a difficult.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly's way out there.
In his box. He's at really.
So yeah, 2 back-to-back mistakes.
The wheel.
I'm not going to be able to make that up.
Make sure he doesn't hit that pit wall. Starts cruising and able to stay off the wall. It's going to Reed. It's rolling. Cost you time if you're not careful. Still out on track. Going to be your top 3. Shane Terrian, Ryan Noel.
He got a speeding penalty.
Still need to hit pit.
How did he get a speeding penalty?
Pit road, the 77 and the 1. They will now be.
And I screwed his pit entry up.
This lap and give
He's going to be pissed at me.
Go around. The field continues to stay green. 30 laps to go here tonight.
Yeah, Brandon Colley, though, looking like he wants to lead the next lap. Had a nice run coming down there. See what he can do coming out of this turn. See if Brian Noel pits. That's another thing you got to keep an eye out for. If these drivers do call late pit entrance, you don't want to be on the bottom of them and risk running them over, because these drivers had to slow down so much. You're going 180 through these corners. Brandon Colley going to dive to the bottom, though. See if you can make the move here and get a lap led. or is he going to pit? We're going to find out. It looks like he might be pitting, Sam.
Showing signs, pit road, maybe here for the one, and it is into pit road. Poor Kali Noel stays out for another lap. And Brian Noel stayed out one of the longest of anyone out there on track. Still could go for about another lap or two before he needs to hit pit road. We have lost one driver, though, added to the pile. Andy Cochran in the 2 machine, who was looking at science to go for a top 15 here tonight. Instead, 29th position. Andy Cochran's called the evening. We'll wait on a report on exactly why Danny.
Hopefully a caution comes out, and then we'll get all bunched up.
That was looking for a decent run here tonight and was a driver outside of our top 16 in points. Needed a good day, and that real hill at the beginning of the playoffs could get a lot harder for Danny Cochran and a few others after tonight's race. Again, we got 4 more races before the playoffs, and those 4 races: Pocono, Auto Club, Nashville Super Speedway, and Atlanta Super Speedway, going to be some top 4 racetracks we're heading towards. So you need every little point now if you want to make the playoffs, get top 16. Make it there. If you have a win and you're inside of the top 25 in points, that win automatically grants you a position in the playoffs. Well, so you want to make sure you're a little bit deeper in the points, and one driver that's hoping to grab as many points as possible. It's the 63 of Bryson Hicksenbach. And Bryson is now the 2nd driver in line of those that have come into pit road. At 63 is aiming to try to catch up to the 3, but the gap, 1.7 seconds is the difference currently.
27 laps to go. This is setting up to be like last week at Vegas. Is it going to come down to a last lap pass? What is going to happen? This is going to be a great finish. I think this is going to be very similar to last week, how we're going to have drivers running down other drivers, trying to get to that lead to 2nd position. But Sam, one thing we talked about, how do you make up time? Going through those pit stops, there was so much action going on, but you saw it live. Cody Reed getting
Hey, Mox.
a little awkward.
I don't think I'm going to win it.
A little gingerly. You saw he came in right behind Zach Hall, right on his
I was potentially looking for a top 3, but
there was about
made some last-second mistakes
between them. That was the difference. That's 1 second on the track. That's right there is how you make up time on pit road versus losing time.
Yeah, I mean, you could really gain and lose massively if you're not careful. Into pit road going to be Brian Noel, leaving us with the rest of the field.
Thank you, Mox.
Wall. It's the 7 of Douglas Newbegin, and that's damage you cannot afford to grab. That little bit of scrape and then a secondary contact. That's going to hurt the 7. Runs in 4th place currently.
Let's see if I can run that bottom line.
That little bit of contact, how much is it going to hurt moving forward? We'll have to find out. 25 laps to go. It's going to be our last opportunity to pull it to a commercial break. It's been crazy. It's been hectic. Pit stops are done.
I don't know. I don't know how he's doing it, but I feel like I'm using more right rear off of it.
As it has been a good one here for the WSSR Roasted Jets Cup Series Race 4.
Hey, Holly.
Here's your top 5 currently, and Ryan Kelly, Bryce Hicksenbach, Nick Crawford, Douglas Newbegin, and Ryan McCann, your top 5. As we will step away for a quick moment, when we come back, we'll take to the end. Who's winning race number 8?
I think I was 5th when I went in.
Easy.
Or thinking about going in, and then
It is.
so really my mistakes didn't
Driver's seat with the industry's leading.
lose me anything, but it also didn't help.
Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing.
See, we're catching Ryan a 10th a lap, so that green car is looking pretty good for a win there.
To ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience.
Batman, yeah, broadcast was on commercial. I wasn't paying attention, but
Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe.
hey, well,
Against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill.
oh, no problem, man. Thanks for the raid.
Visit iRacing.com.
See if I can't get a top 5 here. Had a potential for top 3, but a little bit of mistakes on my pits. Slid through the box and got cold feet on my first attempt to pit entrance. So you got P2 in your race? That's right, Mox.
Defenders contact very nearly. He just to the outside. He breaks so much later. Raskin can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead.
That's Nick Crawford in front of me. I got 1 lap better tires, and I might get a 4th here.
Lockwood, he's going to make the move to the outside. Quick tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. He's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at him.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Fritz on the bottom. Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. Deep bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run.
Yeah, he's lost his rear.
Demerit's
4th is looking a little bit better now.
It's going on in Michigan.
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Aphrodite is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Freaking Fast Broadcasting, giving you the coverage of the WSSR Roast the Gems Cup Series. If you're just joining us, well, welcome to 20.
It's pretty nice. He let me have the outside line. That's what I wanted.
Clean and green. We've only had 1 option here tonight. That was only back at lap 4. But since then, we've ran a majority of this race clean and green. 100 laps in total, as we've already completed 81. The track, it's been heating up. So is the competition. 103 degrees is the track temp. Air temp 76. It has been climbing up.
They get to battling up there and wreck each other. I might get a top 3.
And currently, it's been a good one as the field is getting prepared for the final push. Well, the drivers up front, we got 3 of them on top of one another. So let's quickly.
They're going to catch that leader. So
before we get to the racing action, and that
don't hold the. What's the saying? Something about press.
Roasted Gems coffee.
Hold the books. I don't know.
Blends and premium coffees that you can find from French vanilla to cinnamon and more high-quality blends to be seen. Remember to go to roastedgemscoffee.com. Check out your coffee and elevate your coffee experience with Roasted Gems. Use promo code WSSR for 5% off. And trophy.
I'm actually faster than the leader.
Putting on a show, and you might
hold up
to the capture shot of the show. Well, might as well go look out for the trophy smack, wall smack. It's a metal plate that gives you a perfect.
How many laps I got here?
Choose for yourself that you want to use.
Oh,
it displays
17, 16.
Magnet system, or you can
10th a lap. Is that half a 10th a lap? Is that going to get me there?
You can put on desk, table, wherever you feel like you want to show off your wall smack. Go on, get it. Remember to use promo code WSSR SMACK. That's WSSR SMACK for 10% off. Thanks.
Maybe if they get to racing, 1.5 seconds, that'd be tough.
We're trying to get good sponsors quickly. And Justin, the reason why they are all on top of one another. These are your top 3 battling for the lead. Which
that is true, Brandon.
15 laps to go.
We don't even need to tell you their 3 names because you can see them right on track. They're all together.
And one guy's in the wall. It's looking even better now.
I'll tell you anyway. You can throw a blanket under them.
Oh, I caught him by
different lines. So like we mentioned, Douglas Newbiggie.
1500s there.
Race if he's going to make the pass. Bryson Hicks.
Whatever number that is. I can't think.
Suit. Ryan Kelly, though, continues to lead. How did Douglas Newbiggie catch these 2? He's one of those drivers, Sam.
Just can't overheat my right rear.
At the end
that should be my focus.
He's only hitting 199 from what I've been watching here on the tracks. It's just be able to carry down a little bit of extra speed before he gets into the corner. That's the product of him getting out of the corner. This is going to be a great finish.
It's a never give up mentality for the 7 here tonight. And Bryson Hickenbob trying to go 2 for 2. He won last week on his debut race for the 63 machine.
That was another 10th last lap.
He just continued to show he is a major threat to watch out for. The rookie has been great. It's been a pleasure to watch, but other drivers still trying to find themselves into victory lane. Ryan Kelly yet to get into victory lane yet this season, but has had some close opportunities. Got second at Texas, got third last week at Las Vegas. There is
that green bar is looking even better, even though I lost a little bit last lap.
Drivers that are trying to close in. That's going to be Brian McCann, Nick Crawford, and as well John Forbes, all trying to push forward as quickly as possible. And mixed and mingled in between, it's Brian B. Johnson, who's had some troubles under the last stop.
That didn't help.
Trying to help this three group move forward as they're about a second and a half up at third place.
Yeah, Nick Crawford, I was watching him. He's been staying steady at the 2.5 second interval, but Brian McCann, he got around him. He got it under 2 seconds pretty fast. Brian McCann is a driver coming. If these top three start battling, it's going to be really interesting if we have 4 drivers up there, and potentially 5 if Nick Crawford could do it. John Forbes falling a bit back, but don't rule him out either if these drivers get battling. As we see now, Douglas get to the bottom. He's waiting. What I think Douglas wants to see, if he sees those 2 in front get side by side, can Douglas drive it to the bottom? Because these other drivers are not getting to the bottom. If those 2 are side by side battling, is he going to sneak by? We've seen him do it throughout this race.
Yeah, we talk about a shallow entry. That's what the 7 is doing, is diving to the inside much more aggressively compared to the other 2 that are kind of taking a little bit of a sweeping corner, which is allowing them to keep the momentum that they want to have through that second seam. But it is also enabling the 7 to have it wide.
Got a little aggressive on it.
But it's side by side. Ryan Kelly.
It's faster, but that heated it up.
Bryson Higginson runs the second. They're going to be drag racing off the exit of turn 2. The 3's been leading, but his tires might be giving out. It's a 1-lap difference, but at this far into a run, it doesn't matter what time you give it a pit road. It matters on how you've been.
Did that one much nicer.
And it's the 7.
Yeah, I want them to race. Hopefully they get to 2-3 wide up there.
Because it gives the opening for the 7 to be right there for second.
This new Biggins loving what he's seeing out his window, but the driver that might be liking it even more is Brian McCann. He's now got it down to 1.8. There's 12 laps to go. If these guys keep sliding these tires around up there, he's right now might be the one. It looks like he might saw some.
Basically, just keeping even with him. I ain't really catching him.
Trying to run as high as he can to get the best entry into the corner, but still not giving up too much time to drop down to 1.9. But if these guys get side by side again, he could be right in the thick of things with Nick Crawford right in tow.
It is go time. 12 laps to go, soon to be 11. And Ryan Kelly utilizing every defense.
Damn, I need him to do 2 wide.
Bryson Bryson, again, the journey for the 63. He needs to win, needs to finish inside the top 3, because after last week's win, all that Bryson's thinking about is maximize those points, get up front, get a great finish, and finish inside of our top 25 in points by the end of the regular season. And after tonight, just 4 more races to go. The 63, yes, you would love another win, but ultimately you cannot throw away a great finish that is happening right now.
You cannot throw away that finish. It's a great point to remind everyone about where he is in the points, being down in 42nd because only entering 1 race last week. But he had that win. If he can go 2 for 2, that's going to be really good at getting him into the field for the championship run. But Douglas Newbigin wants to win this race too. But Brian McCann, 1.7, we talked about it. He's gaining 1/10 a lap. If he's able to get there and get to that draft, that's going to really start to gain hip speed. Not quite there yet though. Nick Crawford, 2.7, is starting to fade back.
I'm giving it all I got.
But under 10 to go, Sam. Is anyone's race still up here? Brian Kelly does have that 1 lap less tires, as you mentioned, but he's doing what he needs to. Bryson Dixonbaugh, though, right there.
Bryson Dixonbaugh just continues to work that second groove. The first groove has been all Douglas Newbigin, and Ryan Kelly has been swapping back and forth. He runs this second seam. Sometimes
I don't think I can catch him. I think I'll have to overdrive to catch him, so I'm really just trying to conserve my right rear and stay here.
Make an attack move. The 3 holds that line that 6-3's been enjoying. This go round goes down low, giving the draft assistance to the 7 and Newbigin, and then clocks back up.
I mean, I'm still going for it. I just don't want to slip. If I slip, I'd screw up an entire lap.
Here by the 3, a fast class, you could say. 9 laps to go, and that gap that we're talking about from 3rd back to 4th, it has not changed. It stays. It looks like it's going to be the duel between these 3 drivers up front, coming up to 8 laps to go when they cross the line.
Brian Kelly, exactly like you mentioned, showing our viewers, this is how you win a race. This is how you keep the two behind you side by side. He gives you some draft to the 63, gives some draft to the 7, doing what he has to keep them side by side. That's making them burn their stuff up while he's able to keep this lead. Now coming under 8 to go. These laps are going to fly by here. Under 40 seconds a lap is going to be a quick finish here. These drivers are going to put on a finish. Brian McCann still trying to beat a 4th car to make it a 4-car finish, but not able to do it yet.
Brian Kelly's one and only win in the WSSR was last season when he got the pole and won at Atlanta. Tonight, qualified all the way back in 11th place and trying to get himself into victory lane and lock himself with no worries about the playoffs and where he lies in the points. This 3 is 4th in points coming into tonight. 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s, and probably one of his best runs so far to go for a win. But Bryson Hickenbach, Douglas Newbigging, the swap, the 7 is now officially into second, and it's all about how do you run down the 3. And it's the positioning even
2 of them in the wall.
have the tires to go for a pass here with 7.
That Ryan Kelly pulled out big.
To go 7 car number 7, Douglas Newbiggie trying to make these moves, get up there. You saw him get around. Now he's got to figure out what can he do to get to the leader. He got around 2nd place. Now he's got to be able to get a couple of tenths here. He did lose some time though. Ryan Kelly pulling away slightly, but Douglas Newbiggie going to drive it back.
Yeah, how's that heart rate? 145.
He's been running all night. He gets that little bit of clean air down there. Now he's going to get that draft down this.
I need to pump those numbers up a little bit.
Douglas Newbigging trying everything possible to move forward and go for a win. This would be Douglas Newbigging's 3rd career win.
I'm trying to get on the gas earlier and get more into it, but this is hurting me.
Auto Club, where he qualified 4th and got the win. His first was at Dover. And hoping that tonight maybe it could be something special for the 7 after showing the woes and the speed at Las Vegas and then deciding, okay, had our mistakes, got penalized.
I needed him to race more.
Stay away from those penalties. Let's show this.
I only got 5 laps.
Tonight he's proving it. Even with mistakes, he's been recovering and off the exit of turn number 4. Coming to 5 laps to go. Still in distance, still in shot. Is going to be the 7 with a chance to go for a win, but it's 2 tenths. The gap continues to stay pretty close. And I'm looking at the lap times. That 4th place driver, Brian McCann, I think he might be just too far back. Hickenbach on a loose touch. It looks to be now a 2-horse race for tonight.
Looks to be a 2-horse race, but if these drivers do make any kind of contact or get side by side and have any issue, it could be Bryson Hickenbach or Brian McCann getting into that position to take a win. But Douglas Newbigging going to go back to the bottom. We saw in turn 1 and 2, he went slightly higher through that corner, trying something different. But this time back to the bottom, able to carry the momentum coming out. He's right under there. He's going to get the huge drive down here. What is he going to do? Is he going to go to the outside here? Looks like he's going to peek up there. The 3 is going to go up the block. Douglas Newbigging.
Yeah, that's all that right rear's got.
Now he's right in that dirty air. Is he able to get down there and get Ryan Kelly loose? He's right underneath him. Gonna try and get him loose, getting out of the corner. Ryan Kelly able to do that master class though. Come out, no problem. Ice in his veins. Nothing Douglas Newbigging can do in that corner. He's gonna have to try now again. Coming in turn 3. Down to turn number 3 and Newbigging still trying to fight and figure out
if I wouldn't have slid
what corners of the track does it feel a lot more stronger to be down low.
If I wouldn't have slid through the pits, I would have been right up there with him.
Where that strength is, the 7 though gets back in line, recognizing okay, the higher lane might be better through 1 and 2. Tries to get to that outside quarter panel, couldn't do so. Instead, will run that higher lane, and Kelly once again just continues to block that entry that 7's looking for, and it's hurting the exit. Ryan Kelly, a much better 1 and 2 that go around compared to Douglas Newbigging.
We're going to be coming up to 2 to go here. He's not going to have too many more chances left. What is he going to do? This time he's definitely going back to the bottom. I think that's been his comfort zone all night. But that outside line, he was getting some momentum. If he can come out here alongside, that's what he wants to do, is be able to side draft down the straightaway. But he's not going to be able to do it. He's going to have to use that draft. He's going to tuck in.
Wreck him. Let's get a caution.
No air over his nose. Nothing over that spoiler. Just keep it nice and clean, getting down through turn 1 to the bottom. Trying to do it again.
I mean, right now, it is Douglas
ain't gonna happen, is it?
Searching where is the speed, and Ryan Kelly Kind of doing similar to what Douglas Newbegin was doing earlier, picking a lane and sticking with it, while the 7 late in a run, the tires just are giving out.
Oh, we almost had a caution.
It's allowed the 7 to be there at the line, but it doesn't look like the strength is there just yet. Needs a good exit to have an even opportunity as they come off of turn number 4. Looking for the white flag, it's Ryan Kelly, and the gap grows to almost 3/10. Ryan Kelly gets to see the roasted Jets, white flag in the air. This is it with a 3 looking for the win.
Last chance going into turn 1 for Douglas Newbegin. Not able to do any kind of move coming out of this corner yet. He's going to have to get a run down the straightaway to be able to make an entry into turn 3. He seems just get a little loose. He's trying everything, but Ryan Kelly's going to continue to block him coming out of the corner as he goes into turn 3 for the final time here.
Ryan Kelly able to keep the gap for now, but Douglas Newbegin,
4th place.
Line trying to close in. He's within a couple of tenths.
Thank you, Derek.
Not close enough. The exit at turn 4. The better momentum, the speed. The 3 finds himself crossing the line, and his first win of season 8 goes to Ryan Kelly here tonight.
Ryan Kelly, first win. Douglas Newbegin, second. Bryson Hickson-Bott, third.
Thank you, guys.
Nick Crawford rounding out our top.
Thank you for sticking around and watching.
100 lap.
Yeah, P4 out of 33 cars with a
Great win.
3.5K strength of field. Bunch of good drivers in here.
Great speed to watch out for. Douglas Newbegin able to qualify this week compared to last week. Had to start the end of the line at Las Vegas. Still finished great. But, man, just proving we're starting to see the strength of this field climbing even more.
I don't know how Doug was doing it.
New winner here this season. Congratulations to Ryan Kelly becoming our 7th different winner this season.
Yeah, good win, man.
The numbers.
All right, guys, no caution to review, so.
Our 7th winner, not the case.
Actually, we did have one caution, but it wasn't anywhere near me.
This one getting to burn it down up front.
So I guess I'm out. So later.
A win for Ryan Kelly.